Well, hello. Welcome back to the Productpreneur Success Podcast. I'm Catherine Langman, your host for this show, and I'm really excited to bring today's episode to you. So have you ever had one of those days where you just feel like you are spending the whole day and maybe half the night as well, just running from one task to the next, super busy, trying to hustle, trying to get everything done, right from the minute that you open your eyes in the morning, you just go, go, go. I know, I've certainly had many days like that over the years, where you're trying to respond to customer inquiries, you're trying to create and post stuff for socials, you're trying to pick and pack orders or sort out the next production run or figure out what you should put in your next email newsletter, or how else you should get traffic and sales to your online store or chip away at some other big project. I mean, the list just goes on and on, right? There's always more things to do in a day than you can possibly hope to achieve. That's how those days feel like, right? So how would it feel if you were able to share some of that load and still know that everything would be done to the same high standard that you have? So if that's where you're at in your business, then today's your lucky day, because today I'm joined by a guest on the show, Michelle, who owns the VA agency called Outsourcing Crew. So finding a VA or virtual assistant, if you don't know what that means, who is really good at what they do and who knows their way around the kinds of tasks and apps and platforms that you need to do and use in an e-commerce business, it hasn't always been easy in the past. I think that VAs, virtual assistants, as a industry or a service provider, they typically started out working with other sorts of online businesses, whether it's coaches or consultants or other service-based businesses. So really finding someone who's good at doing this kind of work in the e-commerce space has been historically a little harder, but this sector, it is a sector that's growing really rapidly right now, and for good reason. I really honestly truly believe, and I can't emphasize enough, that none of us can hope to scale and grow our business if we keep doing everything ourselves. And I tried that. I promise you, I tried it. It does not work. You will burn out if you do that, right? So I'm really excited to share today's conversation with you, where we'll be tackling topics like how to figure out what tasks you should delegate, how to actually make sure that your assistant does things to your standards and meets your expectations, and a whole lot more. Now, just quickly before we get to it, I want to share the details about my upcoming live free 3-day e-commerce growth bootcamp, which starts on Tuesday, the 22nd of August. I hinted about it last week on the show, so here's what it's about. Basically, how do you get more traffic and sales in your online store? I mean, in short, it comes down to volume, accuracy, and the right mix of channels, but that combination is going to be different for everyone. It'll depend on things like your goals and targets, as well as your customers, how they buy, and even things like your margins. So I'm going to be spelling it all out during my upcoming brand new live and free 3-day e-commerce growth bootcamp, where you will learn how to master the art of traffic conversion and how you can turn clicks into cash. Over 3 days together, I'll be teaching you step by step how to design an effective traffic and sales strategy for your business. And here's what we will be covering in our time together. You'll learn the formula for getting consistent traffic to your online store at a profit. You'll discover the latest, most effective methods to convert visitors into buyers. You will uncover the #1 secret to growing a profitable e-commerce business, and ultimately find out how you can gain a competitive advantage to become the go-to store in your industry. No more daily hustle and grind to find every single customer. No more scratching your head trying to work out where your next order will come from. Just the confidence to know exactly how to multiply your website traffic and sales and sustain consistent growth over time. So you can register for free at catherinelangman.com/bootcamp, so that you can supercharge your online store in just a few days. I will make sure to include that link to the bootcamp sign up page on this podcast show notes page, and I really can't wait to see you there. But for now, let's welcome Michelle onto the show. Welcome to the show, Michelle. It's fantastic having you here.
Thank you, Catherine. I love being here right now because It's a nice day, isn't it, to have a chat.
Absolutely. A cup of tea and a good conversation. So I'm really looking forward to hearing a little bit about your story and your journey. And I just would like to invite you to start by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your background and what you were doing before you started your business.
Thank you. It's gonna be funny because it's a bit different from what I do now. Um, so I started outsourcing crew 4 years ago, but because of COVID, I only really like counting 2 years because the first 2 years was shit, isn't it?
Yes.
Sorry. I swear. Before I started outsourcing crew, I was working as chief estimator. So I did pricing for telecommunication projects, construction projects. So
Wow. Very
lots of in yeah, very different. I did construction as well. Not physically doing construction, but I have a degree in civil engineering. So I before I moved to Australia, I used to live in New Zealand for and work there as well, Dubai, excuse me. And of course, originally I'm from the Philippines. So I did a lot of work in that industry, pricing, managing projects, whatnot. And 4 years ago, I was, oh, what should I do? I like freedom and flexibility, like most business owners, isn't it? And I like it's it's very adventurous or exciting job I used to do, but I was looking for something quite different and that I can do wherever I am because I love traveling too.
Mhm.
Um, and then I met a few people in the Philippines when I was on a holiday, and there were most of the so in the Philippines there's the capital city is Manila, and then a few cities around it. That's where most of the opportunities are. So if you're from a regional area, you want to earn more or you want to have better opportunities, you have to move there and leave your family, friends, kids in your hometown and move there for work. And I
Mm.
was like, I heard about virtual assistants,
Yes.
customer service, and everything. What if like the big companies that outsource to the Philippines, why can't small business do that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so started hiring and training a few women in our area, and then yeah, that's where it started 2019, towards the end of 2019, and then 6 months ago this year, I quit my full-time job. So I was doing it side by side for 3 years.
Oh my
Everyone's like,
goodness.
yo man, he was saying like, are you crazy? I was like, well, it's not like full on hustle, side hustle. It's really literally like like the definition of side hustle. I only do it like few hours a week, but then 18 months ago, 2 years ago, something like that, I went like, this is something really good. I really enjoy meeting women in business, training people in the Philippines, connecting VAs to business owners here. I like learning new technology because when you're working for in a job for 20 plus years, like I was doing estimating, the same thing I was doing every day.
Yeah, it
Like
gets a bit boring, doesn't it?
it's a bit boring. I was like, really, this is what we're gonna talk about again? Cables. So and then trenching, I was like, yeah, it's interesting for me. I enjoy that, but wanted more.
Yeah.
And then I came from a very poor family. I was born and raised in Manila. So I wanted to give back, and I saw there's an opportunity to give back and train women and the LGBTQ community in the Philippines and give them better opportunities. So it's like I I'm doing something that I enjoy by also helping people in the Philippines plus helping the business owners here. So it's a
Yeah.
win-win situation.
Amazing. Yeah, what a fascinating story. I really definitely was not expecting to hear that. That's fantastic. And so obviously you started in late 2019 and then kind of COVID hit and probably everything was a little bit slow to get moving initially. Um, but I'm pretty sure you told me when we chatted last that you actually still have some of your clients working with VAs that they started with when you started the business. So you've had a pretty good track record so far by the sounds of things.
Yeah, so when you're starting a brand or a business, especially from coming like me, coming from a construction background and then moving towards a small business administration, it is quite different. I don't have anyone like in my network. I can't sell my services to them because I was still working. So there's like a conflict of interest. So I have to really find another way to sign up clients and start my business. And And this is for everyone who's starting their business. You feel like, who's going to sign up for me when they don't know me?
Yeah.
Why would they trust to give me their money and then give access to their business and then hire us? So, well, I did a lot of networking online. I couldn't go to face-to-face events or real life events because I was stuck doing my full-time job. So I did join a lot of Facebook groups. I was helping people there. I was answering questions. I was engaging to everyone, and I sought out like a lot of people that I still admire right now. I still follow them on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and I signed up a few clients within a few, I think within 90 days. So we signed up a few clients. I was so happy signing up what first client. I was like, so I told my husband, my partner, then I was like, oh my God, someone signed up. He's like, do you have a contract now? But she just emailed me saying she's going to sign up. Yeah, right. So then the next day, she really signed up. And up until now, she still works with us. She's referred us dozens of clients. um the first three clients that we sign up, they're still our clients up
That's
to this
amazing.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're still working with the same VAs.
That's incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. Tell us just, how does it actually work? So, I mean, our audience is, they're e-commerce business owners typically. And, obviously when you start, I mean, like any business, you start up a business and you're mostly doing everything yourself for a while. Certainly in e-commerce, because you're picking and packing products and you're trying to get traffic and all of that kind of stuff. But you always hit that point where you've only got so much time, you just can't do anything more, so you need some help. And so how does it work, if somebody wants to work with someone like your team?
So that's a good question because sometimes like most of the questions that I get asked about from potential clients, like when do you know it's time to hire someone? It's there's no right and like answer to that question because you know when you're ready. But for us, I always suggest checking first of all, can you afford to hire someone? Because there's no point in hiring someone and then you ended up not working with them after let's say 2 weeks or 3 weeks because you
Yeah.
can't afford, and that means it's a waste of time to go through the all the motion, your time as well as a business owner, isn't it? Plus training someone, the emotional investment as well, meeting someone that you like, and then oh, it's not going to work.
Mm,
So I always say check three things. So your finances, are you and be really honest to yourself. How much can you afford?
mm,
Because you might be able to afford let's say 5 hours or 10 hours a week a certain like level of investment. That's all you can afford, and then that means you got to check what can I delegate then of this investment.
mm.
Then check the things that you don't really like to do, like doesn't like Marie Kondo doesn't bring you joy, spark
Yes.
joy in your life, or you're not good at, like
Yes.
literally you're like, I'm not good at writing, so someone is doing that for me.
Yeah.
So I don't do that. um and then the third thing is, do you actually have time to delegate? Because it's not just passing it on and saying, you can you do that? In our team, I always believe, I always tell this to our client as well. I always believe that it's not a transactional relationship between a client and a VA, or a brand and a VA, or a company and a VA. It should be a partnership. It's not like you have a list of tasks, send it off, they do that, off you go, thank you, give a feedback, that's it.
Mm,
That's not how we operate. We operate by um, integrating the VA into your business, making sure that they understand your business. Because let's say you're delegating, I don't know, customer service, responding to inquiries on your socials, on your inbox, or something like that, or processing orders. How will they respond to someone's questions if they don't understand your business or they don't care about your business?
yeah.
So if it's a transactional relationship, they just don't like, they just tick off the boxes. And
Mm,
that's why there's three things that you gotta be ready before you hire someone,
yes.
especially a VA.
Mm,
Finances, the list of tasks, and then
yes.
record the time it takes you to do it, and start recording how you do it as well. So
Yeah.
that's like your training
Yeah.
materials already. I Of course, if you have SOPs, that would be brilliant. But let's just be honest. That's why you're hiring someone, because you don't have time. So I know a lot of people like, you should have this fancy step one, step two. It's as simple as a one page paper and put there step 1, step 2, click the link, and this is the video how I do it. You
mm,
can start by doing that, but
mm,
you need time. The
mm,
third thing is really time.
mm.
Time to onboard and train someone to be
Yeah.
part of a business. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I would say is probably something that a lot of business owners sort of don't realize that they need to devote that time. There's a I think a common pitfall, which I'm sure I fell into a few times over the many years, but where you get to the point where you need to hire someone yesterday. You've left it too long, you're too busy, and you really need help before you have a complete burnout or breakdown because you're too busy. And so then you hire someone and you just give them a whole bunch of tasks, assuming that they already know how to do it exactly how you want them to do it, and it never works out like that. So
It
then you
never.
end up like, oh, I should have just done it myself, or this will never work, and all of that kind of stuff, which is not helpful.
No, it doesn't work at all. I've seen it happen. It happened to me as well. So expecting someone to know how you want it done without actually telling them how it's done or showing them how it's done, they're
Hmm.
not gonna read your mind as well. So like it it doesn't have to be like you have to devote 20 hours of your week to train someone. As long
Hmm.
as you're ready to allow, let's say, we always suggest our clients to have 30 minutes to an hour to catch up with their VA in the first few weeks
Yeah.
plus the training on onboarding time. So you can have like a feedback session as well. So
Yeah.
you teach them how to do something, then you let them how to do let them do it on their own. Then you have a session to have a feedback, one-on-one feedback with them.
Yeah. Excellent advice. I think we all need to do that, even with team members we might hire in-house on staff as well as outsource.
Exactly.
Yeah. So essentially what you're saying is that when you hire an outsourced VA, you are pretty much treating them like a team member.
Yes, they're part of your team, and with that investment, they will invest back with you as well because they know that they're gonna work with you for long term. So they'll care about your brand as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say the other pitfall that I come across a lot, and I don't know whether I've been responsible for this myself, probably, but the notion that it will just be quicker and easier if I do it myself, um, rather than actually even looking into getting help. And I think that probably the people who end up like that, they're the perfectionists. They're the type A perfectionists, and they're really familiar with doing things exactly how they want it. So you're never going to find somebody who's going to do things
No,
exactly that same way. But I just see it so frequently, especially with women, where they're in burnout because they're just continuing to do all of the things themselves. You just cannot possibly hope to grow your business when
no,
you're operating like that.
no, and we're used to doing that, isn't it? Women usually, like
Yes.
even household, isn't it? I would rather do my let's say my laundry than ask my husband to do it because I have a particular way of doing it. Let's just be honest, isn't it? That's like even if they do it properly, we'll still see things like, oh,
Yep. That's
that's
not
not how
quite
they
right.
do it, right? So and then you ended up
You
doing
put
it, but
that
you're
in the
right.
dryer?
Exactly. Like, oh, you put no, that's not where the no, you don't put that there, please. Don't put it there.
Mm.
So, and that's not how you fold it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
small things like that. But in saying that, a lot of our clients that comes to us, they're honest in saying that, saying, I don't think I can like it's difficult for them to delegate. It's difficult for me to delegate. And I own an outsourcing business.
Right.
It took me, I think, a good 2 years to delegate almost a lot of our like a lot of our administration tasks to my
Mm.
VA.
Yeah.
But then I realized if I don't delegate this or I don't ask someone to do this for me, what's left in my hours in the day?
Mm.
There's nothing left because I say even if we say example is onboarding our clients.
Mm.
I know it's an email to welcome our clients and things like that. Send the questionnaire form. So easy. And for me, it will take me 2 minutes to do that because I've been doing that for how many years?
Yeah.
Still, still 2 minutes of my time plus the mental load that have I done that? Have I sent that? That is the biggest one for me. It's not actually doing the work itself.
No. And the context switching. So, you're always switching from task to task. There's always a bit of time between, where your brain has to catch up to, the next thing. So there's lots of little bits of time that you're losing, really, isn't there?
Exactly. And so now my VA does that for me. I know when I tell he knows, she knows that when something like there's a trigger on what stuff she does and what stuff I do.
Yep.
And I know she's gonna be on it. And
Yep.
that I don't have to think about it. You know
Yep.
what I mean? That is the biggest one for me. Let's say one of the tasks she does for me is email the clients of forms. And I know, let's say today, I don't have to think about emailing 3 people.
Yeah.
She's done it this morning. It's
Yeah.
just brilliant, isn't it? I can go out, have a walk without having to think about that.
Yeah. Wow. That would be so freeing. Really freeing. That's amazing. I want to suggest for listeners here, I don't know if you've heard about this exercise, but I think sometimes people can get a bit stuck around deciding what they should outsource first and second, and what's the smart way to approach that. And I had someone tell me years ago about an exercise called the time sucking monster exercise. And really, that's just a fancy name or a funny name for tracking your timesheets for a while and seeing
Yeah,
what you're spending time on. And like you said earlier, choosing what you aren't good at or what you don't love, but also where you don't get as much, leverage or value out of your efforts. Is that time that you're spending on something, are you actually going to get, growth returns, or is it
exactly.
like sometimes there are essential things that need to be done, like answering customer service needs to be done, but it's, those things aren't really going to have a huge impact on your business growth. So yeah, I love doing that exercise. It can be super helpful.
I I saw like a diagram or something like that a few years ago, and we shared it on our Instagram, and it says do it. So you've got a list of tasks, and we call it like sorry, outsourcing audit. So you're auditing your business. And when you're auditing your business, list all the tasks that you do daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, everything at all. And then you categorize them with do it. That means you are the only one that must do it, or you actually love doing it. That like makes you happy. Um, Automate it. So if it can be automated, automate that. Then delegate. So delegate is those things that someone can easily do, that task that is gonna bring you returns in your business. Like what you said, say checking your inbox for um inquiries and answering them. Yeah, that's like quick for you to do, but let's just be honest, how much is your worth? So I listened to one of the podcasts this week about how much is your hourly rate as a business owner. So you got to think about that. Say you're $100, $200 an hour, and you're checking inquiries every day, and it takes you, I don't know, 2 hours a week, let's say. That's $400. Someone can do that, say, for $20 an hour.
Yep.
400 versus 40. So if is that correct math?
Yeah, it is.
I've not been doing pricing for a while, so I don't want my friends to listen to this. Jesus Christ, Michelle, that's simple math. You didn't even realize it's wrong. So imagine that. It's like $360 you're earning back to do something else to make you that money instead of it's like um outsourcing or hiring a cleaner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you're hiring a cleaner for 3 hours, you pay them $40 an hour. That's 120 versus you, I don't know, doing something for 3 hours that can make you $100 or $200 an hour. So it's that's the delegate part, low level tasks that you can easily delegate. So do it, automate, delegate. And I think the last one is like, I don't know, is it delete or something
Eliminate.
like
Yeah, eliminate, I think, is
delete?
the last
Yeah. Is it actually recorded in your business? So
one. Yeah.
delete. So that's like the 4 quadrants or categorization of your task. And once you do it, then you have a list of things. Oh, okay, I've got 5 tasks right now. Who can do this for me? Is it a VA, a social media marketing manager, SEO specialist, an OBM, and whatnot? So
I reckon that would be such a cool little tool or infographic to have on your website and just help people work that out. Because, that's probably something we should all be doing at least once a year. as we grow. And, you know, it's like peeling an onion. You just like keep peeling away these layers to, you know, you free up some time, and then eventually you become a bottleneck again. And so something else has to come off your plate and delegate a little bit more, or automate or eliminate, as you say. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, an example of that is when we hire VAs. So we get, let's say, average of 200 applicants a month,
Oh, wow.
right?
Mm,
Used to be, they send their CVs, they answer some questions through a form online,
mm,
and I realized which this is taking us so much time, right? And some of my time dedicated to interviewing, checking everything. So we have I like tools, but for this exercise, I really like doing it manually, checking CVs and making sure that they're the right fit and everything. So what we did is then we automate some of the process. So one of the process that we automated is we're using a form for them to answer. We listed, I think, dozens and dozens of tools: Shopify, Klaviyo, WordPress, everything there. And we asked them to to rate their experience and then put some context about what their experience is, or if they don't have any experience, have they heard about it? So that's automated now. So when someone applied for a role at Outsourcing Crew, they receive that automatically and they can answer that. It used
mm,
to be we have to ask questions and things like that. So that, like like what you said, if once a year you do that check around your business and see where's the bottleneck, what can we improve, what are the things that I can automate or delete or delegate, then it will just improve your business.
yeah, incrementally. And I imagine there would be a bit of almost like your compound interest effect over time. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So I want to ask a little bit about your business journey as well now. I mean, obviously we've been talking about the way to work with VAs and how business owners should approach that whole scenario. But in your business journey, tell us a little bit about what you've done um, over the few years that you've been in business to really help you grow your business.
Um, that's really a good question though, because I think it's different per business, isn't it? But there's different approach, but the idea is the same. The concept of how you grow a business is the same. So I was lucky to be okay not growing it in the first 2 years because I still have a job and I was not really sure if I'm going forward with the whole I'm gonna own a business because it's terrifying. Jesus Christ, isn't it? So
Can
I
be.
was like, this is like there's a whole lot of emotion daily in a daily basis. Not like I'm happy today, I'm not happy tomorrow. It's the whole day is different. So the things that worked for my business is that I aligned myself with people that has the same value
Mhm.
as what I believe. I joined groups on Facebook and in real life, like women in business, that I I really learn a lot from them. Like what we're doing right now. It's like connecting with people that is aligned to what you're doing and what you believe in.
Mm,
Um, I've I this is like big for me that I hired um a coach 2 years ago to help me with the foundation of my business. That is like a catalyst of growth for me because it
mm,
used to be I was doing everything manually. I didn't have a process. It was like a mess. I was growing that time and I know it's gonna like explode in 6 months. But if I didn't hire that coach, I'll probably not sign up a lot of clients after that.
mm,
After hiring that coach, then um, I hired another coach, which is the growth coach. She's the scale coach for me, and she asked me questions. What do you really want to have in your business? Like define that, Michelle.
mm,
And by joining these groups of women in business, I learned a lot from them. But the main thing that I learned is that you can define your success.
mm,
Whatever success is for you, that's your definition of your success. That means my definition of success is that I don't want to work like 70 hours a week. I want to have my holidays. I want to help people. Um, and then the values that we set in our business, that is like big for me. I stand by them.
yes.
Um, and it helped me focus on what I'm doing. Sometimes when things gets hard, I just go back and say, Oh, for God's sake. And then you think it's gonna pass. I think I can't remember where I read this before, but I listened to a podcast again last week and she said everything comes to a pass.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So so when it's bad, that means it's gonna go past as well. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be good next, next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So that was really good. I was like, so listening to podcasts, really aligning yourself with people or businesses that is aligned to your values. Networking is quite massive. Sponsorships, and being, I think number one is customer service.
Mm.
Your
Yeah.
client is happy with you. It's the best, like, I don't know, advertisement that you can have, marketing tool.
Yes.
I like we get referrals from people that haven't hired us before.
Mm. Yeah.
They just loved us on Instagram. They're like, I couldn't believe like someone, one of my, I'm a big fan of hers and her business. She's a digital marketing expert, and she referred us to one of her clients, and she just knew us through Instagram.
Yeah.
So by showing ourselves and who we are and being authentic, I know that's quite used a lot, but that's real,
Yeah.
being real,
Yeah.
and just being clear and being, I don't know, good person, I think.
Yeah. Oh, look, I agree. I think,
Yeah.
if you do all of those things, you establish a really good reputation, and that's pure gold in business. I think doesn't matter what kind of
Yeah.
business you have. Mm.
Exactly. And I've made a lot of mistakes in the past and learning from it and then getting help
Mm.
to turn it around. Like managing people is not my strongest suit. And here I am managing 46 people in the Philippines. So it's really like, are you kidding me? So like I used to like say for 21 years doing my old job. I said I don't like managing people. I'd rather do my own thing. Now
Mm.
I'm managing 40 plus people, but so I needed help on how do you lead them.
Mm.
So getting help where you know you're not good at is
Yeah.
quite challenging, but also an eye opening, and it will help your business
Yeah.
dramatically, isn't it? Yeah.
It does. Yeah. I think those moments are in your journey. They feel really hard in the moment, but they're instigators of big transformational change ultimately. Well, they can be. Yeah.
True. Yeah. So I really believe customer service, if, like we can always have fancy things on our Instagram or socials. You can have fancy websites or shiny little things of onboarding tools and automation and things, but it comes to customer service. I even with 70 plus clients right now, I know some people will think that's not possible if you have 20,000 clients of customer service, isn't it? But in my space, I still can I can still do it, so I'm still doing it. I personalize emails. I never do template emails. So I check in on our clients. Our VAs will always share with us, say, Michelle, one of our clients in holiday, so I'll message and say, "How was your holiday?" and things like that. So it's just connecting in that like human level. So
Yeah.
business owner, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. That's so good. Would you be happy to divulge a story about a challenge or, a difficult time, thing that you've had to deal with in your business and what you did to overcome it?
It's probably around um I I can say no in my previous job because that's like I did that for 21 years. So I was quite tough there in that space. You gotta be tough in construction, I think. Well,
Yeah.
I thought
I
now
imagine.
all you
Mm.
have to do to be is yourself, isn't it? But that time I was like, I work in construction in Dubai.
Right. I imagine that's
Imagine that. It's gonna be tough, isn't it? I swear a lot. I actually shout a lot and things like that. I had to. So the biggest challenge for me in the last few years was managing people and also saying no to
Mhm.
clients or potential clients. And it's quite difficult for me to say no because when you're starting your business, you're thinking, oh, I gotta sign this client, even if it's not the right client for you.
Mhm.
And saying no is quite difficult when you're starting and you're scared not to sign up clients. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Like
Mm.
even if you're like, oh, this is not the right fit, but I'll sign them up because I needed a client.
Mm.
And what turned that around is like coach and talking to women in business and the Facebook groups and meeting them up in person and talking about saying no means you're saying yes to another client that's aligning with you. It's not
Yeah.
being horrible. It's not being mean. It's
Mm.
just that you're not aligned. That was like difficult challenge for me with managing people. I want to give opportunities to everyone. I'm gonna be very vulnerable now, but and open, but I want to give opportunities to everyone. So I hired everyone that applies to outsourcing group in the beginning. But then working remotely is not for everyone.
Mm.
You have to be responsible and dependable. If
Yeah.
you say you're gonna be online that time, so it was difficult for me to terminate people.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
like, I'm
100%.
sure a lot of people can relate to this.
Yep. It would be that one of the hardest thing for most people to do as a business owner, I would say.
And terminating people is quite like I don't like it. But again, it's just about stepping out and saying this is business and this is probably not the best job for them.
Yeah.
So we'll offer them assistance if they want anything, but that is like the challenge for me before. But
Yeah.
now I remove myself from the recruitment side, so I don't decide who gets in.
Mhm.
But I still interview them and assess them for final hiring. But I just remove myself from that spot so that it would not be difficult for me.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. It's always, I think it's always just helpful for everybody to not feel like whatever they're going through, they're the only one, dealing with it, because these are experiences that we all go through, I think. So yeah, that's amazing. Um, I would love to ask you what is next for Outsourcing Crew. I mean, we're in the second half of 2023 now. What's coming up for you guys?
Oh, we're so we actually have right now quite like not 2 dozen but close to 2 dozen wait list in our pipeline of clients. So in saying that, we're hiring rapidly right now. We put another resource for hiring. We're growing our team, so we've restructured. We're scaling quite a bit into the e-commerce space, especially because a lot of our VAs gives us feedback. Oh, I love working with my e-commerce clients. So it's like we're crazy about that. And then
Yep.
they a few of our VAs already done quite advanced training on Shopify, Klaviyo, um, is it Georgia's or something like that. Yeah. So we are going towards that direction, but we still work with services-based clients. But the biggest one for us is we've launched our scholarship program for kids in the Philippines. So we have 4 scholars since last year, but this year, like today, is our first day to review the applicants because we're adding 6 into our scholarship program. So we're gonna have 10 kids
That's
that we're
amazing.
supporting to go to school. So that's a big one for me, apart from the business, because that's part of our business. That's like a big part of our business, our purpose.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
That's fantastic. I love that. That's amazing. Do you get to go and visit them as well?
Yeah, I go to the Philippines at least twice a year. So I'm planning to go next month. So I'm gonna be there for 2 weeks. Um, every quarter we host get together for our team. And
Yep.
then I think every fourth or fifth month, we some of our VAs are mentors to these kids now. So they get to see those kids and then mentor them as well.
So good. I imagine everybody really enjoys that on your team too.
Oh, our team that like I always say these are possible because of our team and our clients. So
Yeah.
our clients supports it 100%. Our
Yeah.
VAs, when we ask who wants to mentor, we have new kids entering our scholarship program. Who wants to mentor them? So
Yep.
it's part of what they do as well, and they love that. So,
Yeah. So cool. Um, I want to ask you three kind of final questions that I ask everyone, if you're up for it. And the first one is, what advice would you give yourself, if you were able to give yourself advice back when you started your business?
oh shit, that's a good question. No shit. Um, probably I should have thought about quitting earlier
Mhm.
my full-time job and go all in because I think it stopped me from scaling or growing my business. quickly, or not quickly, but in earlier. So I
Yes.
don't like the word quickly. Like you can't grow your business quickly. There's no
Mm.
such thing as overnight success. But
No,
if I could, I would have quit earlier and then full into my business. And yeah,
taking the leap. Yeah.
yeah,
It is a scary thing to do for sure. A lot of
it
us
is.
have had to go through that. And I have a beautiful client and friend I've worked with for years who I would say she probably says that she waited way too long because she was just, working her full-time job and working into the night at, 2, 3 a.m. every night for years. And I just could never, I mean, it was just astounding how she was able to keep the energy going. But yeah. Um, Good advice. And so the second question I have for you is, and this might be a hard one to answer too, but what would you say is like one really great decision that you have made in your business journey so far? Like one of the best decisions?
Hiring a business coach.
Mm,
Hiring a business coach. I was
yep.
skeptical for a long time, because when you work in corporate, there's no such thing as coach, isn't it? Career coach probably, but it's not like common in construction. But
It wouldn't be common in any
hi-
corporate scenario, I
no,
don't think. Yeah.
hiring, like there's, well, you can't just hire a coach, but hiring someone that really cares about your business and about how they can help you
Mm,
change my business. Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. A final question for you. Hopefully this one's an easy one. What do you love about being a business owner?
Oh, I love that I can have, well, some people might think this is phony, but I love that I can have like a lunch break and just sit in the garden and no one's gonna question me or ask me like, where the hell are you, or something like that. Or I also, there's a purpose in what I do. I I believe that. And when I'm really like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I can just go back corporate and just be done with it. But my husband told me that imagine 45 people that's employed, plus their family, plus the people that they help. And that's like, oh yeah, okay, Michelle, wake up. So
Yeah,
that's like what I enjoy. Like it's not an enjoyable thing every day, that's for sure.
it's
But
unrealistic, really, isn't it?
realistically, it's not happy days every day. But what I enjoy the most is that part that I can help people in the Philippines to have better opportunities, and there's a ripple effect. Plus, I
Mm,
get to work with women in business in Australia, UK, and the US, and now in Japan and Canada and New Zealand,
wow.
that they're also building their dream businesses, and we can help them. And there's like, it's really like a win-win situation, isn't it? We're helping them, they're helping the VAs, then our team helps kids. So it's like a whole kind of ripple effect
It is. Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a virtuous cycle.
Yeah, it's an there's a quite like a very positive impact on different
Yeah.
perspective, isn't it?
Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. I know that a lot of our listeners will want to check you out. So share, how do people get in touch with you guys if they want to work with you or connect with you online? Where do they go?
Oh, check our Instagram, because you're gonna love us in Instagram on our Instagram. It's quite fun there. At Outsourcing Crew. If you want to have a chat, we offer free clarity call. You're gonna chat with me. We're gonna chat about your business. We can even just chat, and you can rant about your business, whatever. You can book it through our Instagram or our website, www.outsourcingcrew.com, or you can drop me a message on my Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic. Awesome. We will include those links on the podcast show notes page if listeners
thank
want to go and click a link and make that easy.
you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for joining us today. And that's been such a fun conversation. I've really enjoyed hearing your story.
Thank you, Catherine. Thanks.